What's good? What's good? What's really, really good, good people? It is I, the man that you all know and love, Edigga, and this is a very special Let's Talk with Edigga podcast. Make sure you go to uh, Charm City Direct TV right now because it is live. Charm City Direct TV on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Today, good people, we're going to be talking about a topic that needs to be talked about, that really needs to be talked about, that really nobody is talking about. And I just want to know the answer to the question, why? Why body shaming? Why people do it? That is the question. And helping me to talk about this topic is very funny, very talented, very beautiful, real, the comedian. She's going to join me in a couple of minutes. I'm going to bring her on because you know how when you surf the internet, people, and you stumble upon facts, you stumble upon the truth. So I was engulfed in this video because she was just spitting mad facts. She was just going in on this topic, and everything that she said in this video that she did, it made sense. But yet she wanted to let others know that, you know, they could talk about you, they can say whatever they want to say about you, but at the end of the day, God made you in his image. And we're going to talk about that today. Make sure you go to Charm City Direct TV and check out this live video. Shout out to everybody that is tuned in. Before I get into today's topic, I want to shout some people out, of course, starting with my girl. That's right, Kelly Vaughn. You can catch her live every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with her show, Face to Facts with Kelly Vaughn. I had opportunity to host the show some time ago. Awesome platform, awesome show. So y'all need to check that show out every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on WOLB 1010 a.m. That's right. And make sure you go to WLEO 26.7 online radio, the sister station of Charm City Direct TV. Worldwide listening entertainment online. Make sure you keep it locked for some great music. I'm talking about music from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and hip hop, R&B, gospel, and jazz, all on one station. Of course, you got to have the talk shows and them DJs on the ones and twos. So keep it locked right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to talk any further because I want to bring her on because she is ready. She's going to be dropping some knowledge on y'all. And I am beside myself. I am honored, one, that she is here and we are talking about this topic. So, of course, without further ado, I want to bring her on. Miss Real, the comedian. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am blessed. I am blessed. Thank you first and foremost for coming on to the show.
Definitely, no doubt.
So, like I said, uh, I was surfing the web. I was at work, like I
Hmm.
normally do. And I stumbled upon one of your videos. Now, you're no stranger to this. You do this. This is what you do.
Exactly.
And before, like I said, before we get into the topic, and for people that don't know who you are, tell the people out there who you are and what you do.
Well, firstly, my name is Real the Comedian. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm definitely a child of God. I definitely want
Right.
to make that clear. Um, I do a whole lot. I'm your superwoman, every woman, so to speak. I started wanting to make a difference, just not about the problems in our lives or
Right.
the pain in our lives, but what could we do with the ending part, the resolution, the coping skill? Like we don't spend as much time needed in that area. So I wanted to do something about it, and that's what sparked my live videos. Honestly, uncensored, uncut, straight to the facts.
Right.
with that, that's how that baby was born, I guess. Just me being frustrated about a lot of my trauma, a lot of the things that I was seeing in my community, and just wanting to have a voice and being a part of the change that I seek. So I started speaking out on my live videos, talking about very hard topics that people normally would be told not to speak on, from molestation to abuse, substance abuse, and then offering social media, um, a area of a safe haven to be able to have a conversation, a positive vibe conversation, and endure constructive criticism about these topics. And so before I knew it, that took off. I am also a foster mom for the Maryland Department of Social Services. I've been doing foster care now for about 12 years. I'm on hold now today, thank God. But I'm still a foster mom and an advocate for children, and that stemmed from me growing up in foster care. I went back
Right.
and decided to do that a little bit as well. Patient care. I've always been a person to care about other people,
Right.
and I believe it stemmed from me not feeling cared about
Mm,
for a majority of my life.
mm.
And so I wanted to get into those fields. And now that I've been in there, activist stuff, standing with grieving parents and holding marches that were televised on the news and different
Right.
things for Baltimore City's violence. It really started putting me into another whole type of ball game, so to speak. And so
Right.
I'm
Right.
still learning, but I'm doing very well. Um, I too want to say shout out to Kelly Vaughn, because me and her, I'm so excited. Me and her together are embarking on a journey of opening our own official shelter for
Ooh,
women and children or what have you. So we're still doing everything, getting our stuff together in that aspect, but we're just about to take this world by storm, me and her. So I just can't wait to show how two African American sisters can come together from two
right.
different backgrounds and do something so powerful in a positive way. So
Right.
that's
Right.
me.
And for the people that's watching this live, I just shout out to you. Thank you for watching this live. And those who will probably catch this later, you could go to Spreaker on the original home of Let's Talk with Edigga podcast. Make sure you check that out a little later on, probably today or tomorrow, but it will be posted for you to listen if you didn't catch this live. Special live episode of Let's Talk with Edigga podcast. Again, I want to say thank you for coming on and thank you for talking about this topic. But one other thing I want to mention, and we could talk about this further today, or a little bit after the show, or at the end, towards the end of the show. I want to get this out. Your event that's coming up. This is
Yes.
back to school, school supply drive.
Yes.
Talk about that for a minute.
Well, it's actually, let me just say, I am the founder of a woman sisterhood group on Facebook,
Yeah.
social media,
Yeah.
um, of about, right now we're at 530 women with 1,000 pending approvals of letting people in. I don't just let people in this group because we're a family based sisterhood. So I try my best to find out a little bit about the people that are joining. So that takes time.
Right.
However, this group of women came from, I guess, my platform of Facebook and the live videos I would do. And so they were asking me, Real, what do you want to do? We want to support you. And cut a long story short, I said, you know what? I don't want to come out with a shirt or a cup or
Right.
some
Right.
makeup or lashes. Help me help women, because when you help women, you help a family, you know. So I created Real Sisters, and it has taken by storm as well. So these ladies in that group, shout out to y'all. I love y'all. And thank you for your constant support, prayers, and encouragement. And that's what we're about, encouraging each other. I'm supporting. I'm actually in the process of turning that into a nonprofit organization as well, so that
That's
we can
what's
be
up.
funded.
That's what's
Um,
up.
so,
Love
yeah.
it. I absolutely love it. So let's get into our topic today: body shaming.
Yes.
What is body shaming? According to the definition that I found on the internet, the action or practice of humiliating. I can never say that word. Humiliating someone by making or mocking or critical comments about their body shape or size. This comes at at a surprise for me because at one time they wasn't doing this. And when I say they, I'm talking about those, shallow people who always try to make fun at anybody at their expense, you know. Uh when I was in school, I was picked on a lot. There's a mole. I don't know if you can see it on the right side of my body. And a couple of people who saw that because I was so afraid to show it. I used to wear turtlenecks, anything, any shirt that would cover that up because they nicknamed me in high school Doo Doo Neck.
Mm.
And, it had a lasting impression
Mhm.
on me. And I some days, I came home plenty of days crying to my mom, like, I just want to take it off and I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to wear this on my neck no more. And I went to the doctor to see if they could, remove it. But the doctor kind of scared me a little bit and, kind of, went on in life. He said, if you pick it off, you're going to bleed to death and die. I don't know if he said that because I was young
Mhm.
or if that's a true fact, so I never bothered with it. I never picked it. It's just there now.
Mhm.
Um, but body shaming right now, one is prevalent, here in America and abroad. From your experience and from the video that you posted about body shaming and your own opinion, talk about your experience and then talk about why people do it.
Mhm. Well, firstly, I have been, I guess, enduring body shaming most of my life as well. Even as a young girl, being chocolate was not easy for me. We
Mm,
came such a long way with our ancestors and everything that happened way back then, even with slavery and the color of our
right,
skins not being
Right.
accepted.
right,
But to be honest, a lot of my embarrassment for being a chocolate girl came from the African American community.
wow,
Um, kids are cruel, and predominantly the kids that I were around were African American.
right,
So it went from the color of my skin, ill, you're black, blackie, gorilla,
mm,
whatever they could come up, black as the street, all of the nicknames or what have you. I endured that as a kid. And so it did. It gave me somewhat of a complex, not necessarily about my skin, but about myself, because that, with the impact of the traumas that I was experiencing coming up, eventually it was just holistically I had low self-esteem
wow,
for a very large time.
wow,
And then once I started coming out and being on social media with these live videos speaking on topics that are hard, because I make enemies every day when you're talking about things like abuse, or
right,
there's abusers out there. I'm not making them happy talking about it and building people up.
right,
When you're talking about people who with molestation, you got the molester. So I'm making an enemy every day. But I tell my viewers this is a cause that I will die for, because I just feel like the body shaming and those things, it really holds us back. When you talk to somebody about why they're not living in their purpose or why they're stagnated today, period, a lot of it stems from way, way, way back. And that's exactly where most counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, that's where they go first. And that's why it seems like very emotional to start those type of to use those kind of resources, because they peel back that onion and they find out that, hey, if you were 5 years old and this happened to you and that stuck with you, then maybe that's the reason you don't know your self-worth or you have
right,
low self-esteem.
right,
So when social media started calling me fat and
mm,
different things, when I would do these videos, I would have a group of people saying we love the message, but then I would have what they considered to be the haters. They
right,
gave them a label and then they started like being okay with it to an extent, because it's like, hey, not we're not going to tolerate that,
right,
but they just haters, don't pay them no mind.
right,
And then that made me feel like, well, what about the person that do pay them some mind? I had a young lady reach out to me. To cut a long story short, she told me, she said, real, I love your videos, but I don't know how you did it. I used to have a YouTube channel, and I tried to speak on just encouraging people that are, fat or bigger or whatever you want to call it, to love themselves. And I got so much backlash that I just refused to do it anymore. I
mm,
couldn't take the criticism that came along with it.
wow,
But a lot of people do. They back up. They just be like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. But me, it is honestly my encouragement that motivates me. Every time somebody tells me something or count me out in any way, that
Right.
drives me. That has
Right.
drove me to do more. And this is why I can't stay in one lane, because that
Right.
pushes me.
Right.
But I can't lie. In the beginning, it was hard for me and my husband, because my husband wanted to go find the person. He was literally like, what's the name? Let's look at their page. Let's see where they are. Baltimore not that big. So,
Right.
so we had to learn how, or I would see the comment and I would address the comment, and then it would take from my message, because the viewers that are there for the message, they're like, okay, bro, we know they're saying that, but I came on here because the topic says blah, blah, blah,
Right.
but it was hard to ignore it. And so I started praying. I asked God, I said, God, just allow me not to even see those negative comments or what
Mhm.
have you while I'm on my video. And honestly, I don't see them.
Mhm.
After the video, of course, we go back, we do our homework, we look at what we did and how we did, and I'll see it, or somebody will get mad by what they said. A couple days ago, someone called me a fat pig.
I
Um,
saw that.
on social media, yeah. And a
Yeah.
lot of my ladies was not liking that, because women go through so much with their image. I mean, men do too, but I
Right.
speak on women first because I am a woman first. But I know that everything is both sided. Men endure it and women. But when I was called that, I didn't even know until somebody told me. So I went back and I
Right.
looked at it and I said, let me shine light on this. So I posted it, just to spread awareness to somebody else that could possibly be going through the body shaming, on, or cyber bullying is what I call it,
Right. Right.
um, on social media. That you're not alone. Even I go through it, but to me, it's my confirmation that I'm doing what I need to do. Because
Right.
if I wasn't, then they wouldn't even be saying nothing to me.
Right.
People say
Right.
things because they want me to say something to them, hoping I give them some spotlight. Because drama creates views. So
Right.
it's
Right.
social media.
Exactly.
So
And when I saw that message, now that, we talked and, I consider you now a friend. And
definitely.
it made me a little upset when I saw it. And I'm like your husband. I was on the stage and I was about to say something, but I
Hmm.
said, no,
Right.
I don't know, I I'm you're a friend now,
Yeah, definitely.
and I fight for my friends.
Vice versa.
And I said, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, how can you be so harsh? We live in a society, people, where, in my little head, I'm kumbaya. How dare you say that? Or would you allow anybody to say that to your mother or your
Mhm.
father or your children and wife or significant other? I am that person,
Right.
in my little head. But in reality, I forget that there are people out there, like you said, that are haters. And
Hmm.
especially they hating real that you are spreading awareness and uplifting people who are
Hmm.
going through this. And I and it kind of, you know, it they hating and they spreading the hate, but they
Hmm.
hate more because you're doing it and it is not phasing you. You know, that's what I get out of that. Now, I had a radio show, the Charm City Direct radio show, and shout out to my girl Thick Kells, and she had a segment called "Loving the Skin You're In." And that was a segment dedicated and devoted to people who might not feel comfortable in their skin, in their body shape, the way that they look, the be confident. Adding that little bit of inspiration every Saturday when we came on, and people love that. People love that segment, loving the skin you're in.
Hmm.
And I want to say first and foremost, I want to commend you first of all for not backing down from seeing those negative comments and pushing forward. How did that make you feel? Knowing that you are the one that give people some sense of hope. How did that make you feel?
Well, for one, I didn't want to address it in a negative way. I feel like fire, um, versus fire gives you a bigger fire. It
Right.
doesn't really put out the flame.
Right.
So my approach was not going to be negative.
Right.
It was to find some understanding of why people are like that. Being as though I've never even met this person a day in my life.
Right.
I didn't even realize that I was a social media friend of this person because I do have a public platform. From time to time, when different people send me, requests, I'll accept them just based off of, just social media being what it is. Hey, you must be following me. I have people sharing me all the time. So I sometimes accept, people, what have you, without doing my homework
Right.
on them.
Right.
And so I just pray that whatever I do in any endeavor that I experience, that I go forward with, that it does impact and help someone out there. As I said before, I went through the low self-esteem. I went through contemplating suicide. I was that person yesterday. Had I not been the
Wow.
person that I am today,
Wow.
that one little comment could have sparked something in me to not want to be here anymore.
Wow.
And so that's the first thing that I thought about when I saw it was, wow, what about when this person gets another opportunity to say something like this to somebody else? And I wanted to tell them that I love them. I wanted to tell them that, you can change, just to motivate them to not be like that. Because I
Right.
don't think, I had done it before where I addressed one of the hate messages and the person was like, oh, I was just joking. I didn't know who you was and what you did. And somebody had shared your video into like a roasting group, where that's what they do when you get shared there. They think you want to play, and they start,
Right.
criticizing you
Right.
like a roast box.
Right.
Me being a comedian, I don't know. I got tough skin anyway, but even still, I just don't think it's any platform that makes that okay, because I just know that some people are not as strong,
Right.
and so I addressed it mostly in a positive way. Of course, outside, off the camera and everything, I'm like, oh, do they want me to come find them, or whatever? But I just have to remember that making a poor decision ruins everything I stand for.
Right.
And just like that, you're one bad decision away from not having what you have worked so hard. I've been working so hard with my platform, with my image, with the way that I am, being transparent, learning from my mistakes for years now. I am just getting to the place, I want to say the last 2 years, I have really been getting to the place where people are noticing and
Right.
people are calling my name like, real, come over here. I want you to do this. I want you to do that.
That's
So
awesome.
I don't want to lose all that. I can't lose all that, you know?
Talk about your platform. I noticed that you are a comedian, um,
Yes.
stand-up comedian.
Sit
Um,
down.
sit down. um, talk about your platform. Talk about the show. What the name of the show again is Real Talk.
Yes. Real
Okay,
talk.
talk about that.
Well, the show it's called Real Talk. Real stands for Remember Everybody Ain't Loyal.
Oh,
As broken ebonics as that is, but
wow.
that's what it stands for. The comedian is what I always was. I'm that goofy one in the family that's going to make everybody laugh, and
Yes.
and so I started doing stand up comedy because I just felt like, most comedians, we have been through so much. People be
Right.
surprised how we can find something funny. But when I had started getting out there and meeting comedians and hearing their story, a lot of us come from pain.
Right.
And that is the common denominator. And when you think of pain, you think of crying, you think of hurting, you don't think of laughing. But when you really think of it, it's like, okay, let's laugh at my pain. Let's flip it. Let's find something positive in it. And so when I get up there and I do the comedy part, it was always my opportunity to put a smile on a person's face in spite of what you got going on at home right now. Whatever the bills are, whatever the
Mm.
relationships is in your life that is toxic, whatever's going on, period. When I get on that stage, that's my opportunity to put a smile on your face. I've never wrote a joke before, don't know what that's like. I've never practiced for a show before. When I get up there on these stages, it's
It's
real. It comes out of me in
right.
that moment. And I thank God that I haven't been booed, because I've seen people be booed. But they really love me. They embrace me. I speak on the things in the room right now,
Right.
and without rehearsing it, it's like, yeah, your name makes sense. And so they take the real and they feel like it goes with that. The real side for me is like my real talk. By the way, it's every Tuesday and Wednesday night on Facebook Live on Real to Comedians page from 9 o'clock until I get off.
Okay.
And that is the serious part of me. I want to say that is, I never wanted to be a comedian that people didn't take serious. You
Okay.
know, I can't have a conversation as an adult because everybody think every other word is going to be a joke when life is just not always funny, you
Right.
know?
Right. Right.
So that found it created a balance for me to be respected as a person, but then I could still have my goofy personality without being considered a class clown, so to speak.
What would
So
you say? I'm sorry. What would you say that because of who you are and what you're doing, uh, could you say that you are inspiration to others just by your confidence, uh, doing what you love? Could that be an attribute
definitely,
of
definitely.
inspiration to others to say, "Hey, would you believe that there are some people out there that's afraid of the camera?"
Hmm.
That no, 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 I'm not, I can't cut on this camera because
Right.
would you say that you're an inspiration to those people who are afraid of the camera or afraid of crowds and just being themselves and that confidence of going up there doing what they love to do? Would you say that? Could you say that?
Well, see, that's the thing, and that's what I love about myself. When I cut the camera on, I don't have all 32 teeth. When I cut the camera on, I'm not glitz and glam and made all up.
Right,
When I cut the camera on, I want you to see yourself. I want you to see the God in me. You know, I want you to see that in spite of this shell that we have, that we're living in, and we try to our best to take care of, and yet we still have things happen out of our control. In
right,
spite of those things, like it is a message, it is a purpose within all of us. And it is my living duty now, after being, pulled out of that dark place when I was giving up on me as a whole. When
right,
when God pulled me out, it was like, this is what you're going to be for automatically. Day one, bam, I knew what it was. It was for somebody else. I feel like my life is not my own. I don't feel like when I cut the camera on, I see me. When I cut the camera on, or when I look in the mirror, I see that young girl that don't have a parent, that's in foster care, that was trapped. When I look at the camera, I see this child that got broken inside from sexually being abused. I see a homeless person. I see a person that still survived it. I see a woman that's now a business owner, an activist. I see so many different pieces of myself. When I cut the mirror on, I see God. The
right,
camera on, I see God. So
right,
it's like, I really don't care about this show, because this is the one thing that we don't have no control over as far as keeping it with us for the rest of my life. I can't take this show with me. I love this show. I take care of it, but I can't take it with me. I need you to remember these words coming out of my mouth. I need you to
right,
know my story so
right,
that my life is not in vain,
right.
because I didn't go through all that for nothing. And I went through a lot in these 37 years.
Wow.
So it's like, when I speak and the people, they comment on the videos and things, but what about the people that really get in my inbox? I had a woman reach out and say, "Real, I watched your video, and I was in an abusive relationship for 18 years. And I got up with my 5 children and I just left." I didn't know this lady from a can of paint or whatever you want to call it,
Uh-huh.
but she said that a video was the hair that broke the camel's back for her.
Right, right,
So that's my motivation. I'm like, okay, what's next? Let me think of the next topic, because as long as it's helping people, even if it's a person, not people, then I'm okay with that. And it helps me, because when somebody say, "How do you deal with the things that happen to you?" How I deal with it is helping somebody else. Coping skills are doing the videos and talking about it. It makes me feel like I'm not by myself, because when you're going through these things, that's the first thing you feel. You feel divided. You feel
right,
like, oh, this is only happening to me. I'm
right,
the only one that feel like I'm ugly right now. I'm the only one that feel like I've been molested. When you speak on it, in a safe place and in a controlled environment, people are like, "Real, that happened to me."
right,
So many people that I wouldn't have expected to be touched have told me in confidence that, yeah, that happened to me. Even the
right,
ones that are not ready to cut the camera on, they're
right,
being impacted, because it's like, thank you, real, because even the stuff you say is one thing, but then other people comment to it and they say, or somebody might decide to have a moment and say, I want to give my testimony. I want to be transparent right now. And they'll call me back like, real, it felt good to finally say, that's the first time I ever said in my life that that happened to me. And I
Right.
did it. And I'm like, how you feel? They were like, I feel so relieved. Like,
Right.
because we get so used to imploding.
Right.
Everything that's bad, especially, and I'm not coming for our race, but as an African American young girl, it was whatever happened to you. If it was in the past, then it's the past. Get over it. If it happened in the house, then this is your mama house. You don't tell nobody what's going on in here. So
Right.
we were taught to hold it in. That live video for me is that regurgitation of all of that,
Right.
the good, the bad, the ugly,
Got to get
the
it out.
beautiful.
Right.
Let's get it out and
Right.
deal with it. And if you don't know how, maybe somebody else will say, hey, real, you dealing with that? Here, you could do this. I did this. This was my coping skill. Might work for you, might not. But
Right.
you can't say nobody didn't offer you some kind of help or support or what have you. So let me just say this quickly. The video is beautiful. The topic is beautiful. Like I said, what I love about my videos the most is we spend more time talking about the problem solving and the coping skill. Now,
Right.
we might address the topic as a whole, play with it a little bit, speak on it. But then we're moving right into, okay, you have low self-esteem. What are you going to do about it? What
Exactly.
resources? Let's
Exactly.
Google. Is there somebody in your community offering therapy? It's a reason for that. Like, do we have a woman support group we can add you to if you're a woman, vice versa if you're a man? Like, let's get some coping skills because if that's holding you back, we want you to be moving forward. And when you do that work on the thing that you was traumatized by, you realize that, dang, I can live my best life. I can
Right.
go and do 5, 15 things if I want to now
Right.
because I'm not that little girl hating myself at the end of the night.
Right.
Most of us don't like ourselves, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and that came from us lying to ourselves, saying that we're going to do something and not doing it, saying we're not going to do something and doing it. And so we become our first, I guess, enemy, our first me versus me, so to speak. I'm fighting my own demons from within.
Right.
So I had to fight those demons before I could even fight the demons of the world. So I addressed myself in the realest way. Like, you're not going to be fake and phony anymore. You're
Right.
going to live up to that name. You can't just say you real and then be over here doing some phony stuff. And so I
Right.
had to check myself.
Right.
And on a lot of things, I had to learn how to humble myself to my husband, be a more submissive instead of aggressive, gotta control everything type of woman. So I
Right.
had to really deprogram to reprogram.
Right.
And I think I'm doing better, today. Um, I'm
That's
just an open-minded person. I don't judge people and I don't try to find the worst in people. I try to find that good thing first. And if it's something bad that's inside of you that I can't deal with or I don't want around me, I address that after I address what's good about you. Because
what's up.
most people criticize before they compliment. And
Right.
that's a problem.
Big
You know,
problem. Big problem.
even with raising your children, you got to
Right.
remember, okay, you want to be parental, but remember to compliment because you can point out the wrong in a person easy.
Right.
But, and that could create a stigma. Let's compliment them first. Being a foster mom, I had to learn how to compliment first. I had to come in the rooms with the girls and say, this is how you make the bed up. This is how you do this. I couldn't just assume because you're 17, you should know how to make a bed. Get this
Exactly.
bed done. This
Exactly.
child could have not had a bed where they lived at.
Right. Right.
They may have never even had a space to keep clean
Right.
or the mindset to do it from the abuse they endured. So going in and showing them how to make the bed and making it a fun time and talking to them. And then that day that I walk past the room and see that it's made to compliment them for it, it's like, okay. And they want to do it more because they want to
Right.
surprise me and show me it's done,
And
So,
especially if a person never received a compliment a day in their life,
right.
and one is, it's shocking. One, it's surprising. Um, just to receive that compliment. And you're
Mm-hmm.
right, they want to do it more because of more compliments.
Right.
Um, so let's talk about this. Let's take this topic, body shaming. Where do we
Mm-hmm.
go from here? What is the message that you want to say to the haters, to the people that do it? What is that message from you?
Well, what I want to remind you is that to the haters out there, to the people that body shame and speak on people downfalls, I want you to find what that is within yourself that's so broken that you feel the need to hurt somebody else. I
Wow.
had somebody tell me, real, remember, hurt people hurt people. And I
Wow.
said, that is true, but let's not forget that hurt people help people too,
Right.
because I'm a hurt person that help people now. And so we just can't get caught up into accepting that. It's
Right.
something about you that's causing you to say those things. One thing I can say, my grandma, she was not a woman that cursed. And I don't care what you did. You know how some people, they say I don't do something, but they get upset and they come out and they be like, oh, but I
Come
don't
out
usually do it,
freely.
so it's okay. My
Yeah.
grandmother was just not a woman that was going to cuss. She didn't believe in it. She didn't like it. She didn't like the way it sounded, and she just wasn't doing it. We
Right.
have got to get to a place where if these things are wrong, we see children dying all the time because of suicide, because of what they're doing on social media with bullying them, and by
Right.
the name calling and things, taking people off the map. So we have got to not allow it. By when we see these comments, be the comment that speak up and say that was not right, that was rude.
Right.
You don't have to go back and forth. You don't have to get into a whole brawl. You don't even have to address it if they address it again.
Right.
And you can directly block the person once you say
Right.
what you say. But that person will see that response.
And
And if the response is not ha ha, lol, laughing at it, making it seem like, oh, it's embracing, then prayerfully that person will see that it wasn't cool, and it'll kind of like, tone it down a little bit. But it's very real on social media. I get commented bad to almost every video,
right.
which is almost every day.
That
So
line right there, not to cut you off, that
go
line
ahead.
right there, hey, that was rude. You shouldn't have said that. You would not believe how a person feel after receiving that line,
Right.
you know. And sometimes it needs to be said. I'm on
Mhm.
social media. I'm on social media. I'm not on social media. But
Right.
comments that I see, especially with celebrities, I
Mm.
see this a lot. And one, I'm not a big fan of celebrity news. I mean, I talk about it a little bit, but at the end of the day, what are celebrities doing for me? I mean, honestly.
Right.
But I see some of the comments and they go deep, like they are living with these people, like you're in
Mhm.
the bedroom with them. And I say to myself, in the comments that I see are sometimes degrading and demeaning, and I'm like, you don't know that person well enough. You don't know that person alone, like
Mhm.
only to what you see on social media and what they post and so forth
Mhm.
and so on. How can you get engulfed in a celebrity's life not knowing them?
Right.
Not even there's a strong possibility you will never meet this person a day in your life. And if
Right.
you,
Mhm.
God bless you. Hallelujah.
Mhm.
You know, but I say to myself in the comments, like thousands and thousands of comments, like, wait a minute. Do you and I, do you know this person personally?
Nope.
Okay. Then it comes back to, you comment like that person. You only see that person on TV.
Mhm.
And that bothers me. And yet alone with this situation, this topic, do you know that person to be saying that?
Right.
The outer appearance, yeah, we all see that, but you don't know that person's inside.
Mhm.
You don't know what that person is like. That person could be the friendliest, happiest person ever.
Right.
But you just have to say it, and just like you said, you have to say something to make yourself look good,
Mhm.
you know. And that really, really bothers me. So when I see comments, sometimes I'm like, nah, you ain't gonna do this today. And
Yeah.
it really, really bothers me when people do that.
What's
And that's
crazy about it is, the whole video that we're speaking on in the moment, about the body shaming and the cyberbullying. It stemmed from me and Kelly. The last couple of days we've been trying to help a young lady who's been going through domestic
right,
violence.
right,
That was very, very, very real for her and her 12-year-old son.
right,
And so I started doing the videos asking people, not for money, because I don't ask for money on social media, but just like, hey, do you guys know a shelter? Do you know a number I can call? They're open. They're going to take her and her son and help them. And so that's what really I was doing for the last couple of days. So when I seen that video, I was like, wow, people are so rude. And so I was like, no, you got to address it because the people are in my inbox and they're like, real, I was about to say this and that, like, not you. They're not going to mess with you because honestly, my people do, my supporters, which I call my family out there in the world I've never even met, they do not play about me. And I
Right.
promise you, I had to learn to accept that, not to break. But when you're really a figure that's consistent and doing, people do start following you and they really
Right.
start feeling like they know you,
Right.
because I have people walking, Baltimore's not that big, so people will walk right up to me and be like, hey, real. And I'm
Right.
like, hi, and I'm very approachable, but
Right.
it's like, I don't know you, but I know you, so they like, but I know you,
Right.
you that girl that be screaming on Facebook. So
Right.
man, your messages are so powerful. So it's like, in a way, you do know me, but personally, you just publicly, I would guess you could say you know me because of what you see publicly me display. But personally, they don't know you. And that's why you can't take it personal. And that's
Right.
what I want to tell the people out there that have social media pages. Don't allow it to go to your personal because they only know what you show them. And
Right.
there's like things you can do to block people, remove them so that you'll never have to see it again, which
Right.
doesn't mean you'll never experience it again
Right.
because this is the time we're living in. It happens to the great people, to the pastors, to nobody's off limits because Jesus Christ wasn't even off limits, right?
Mm,
So, he was cast out and beat and stoned and spit on.
mm.
So, a name for me is like, well, that ain't nothing because look at that. Look at God.
Right.
So, but
Right.
it was a time where those words could break my bone, not to
Right.
sound, what's the word? Contradictive. But
Right.
the me today, I'm like, whatever, get it out of here. Give
Right.
me
Right.
something. Call me skinny, because the fat thing is just like, honey, that's old. But I would say about 6 years ago, you would have called me that. It would have ruined me. It would have
Right.
made me feel
Right.
so broken inside. I would have really took that one comment. I would have cried about it. The old me receiving a comment like that, um, I would have been really insecure about myself even more.
Mm,
And I remember one night, I was feeling the low self esteem and I wasn't loving myself at all. And it was because I heard somebody call me fat when I had walked past.
mm,
I've always thought I was just tall and
mm.
so kind of thick. So it's like, I never really thought I was that big. But once I heard that comment, I held on to that thing. And I'm telling you, it really had me up at night crying about it. So when people say that no, it don't bother them, or you say it and think it don't, some people you don't know what they're going through. So it could be a thing that really causes them to crack. And it's not. I
Right.
couldn't think that I could do something like that to hurt
Right.
somebody.
Right.
It's nothing that funny to me. And I'm a comedian, and I still don't do it. I remember at a club when I was doing my stand up, I always try to let them know I'm not about to be that one to talk about you. I'm not that comedian that gets up there and be like, look at you, you so fat. Because I still feel like that's a form of humiliation. I know it's jokes and I see other comics do it, but
Right.
I just have been with low self esteem before. And I know how commenting like that or joking like that can really go home with somebody. And
Exactly.
that's not what I'm aiming to do. I'm
Exactly.
aiming to make you smile, laugh, or, have a good time. I don't want you to privately be like, dang, I am kind of fat, because I've been that person. So I
Right.
know people do that.
Right.
So I try not to do those kind of jokes or what have you and still be funny. But we have got to stop allowing it because, like I say, it's people out here that, it really will affect and destroy their lives. But
True.
I thank you so much for even shining light on it because we're in a time where the negative outweighs the positive. And
It
so
does.
different platforms, people are like, real, I love what you do, but it's like, I don't know. Let's talk about sex, drugs, and money. And so I love what you're doing on this
Thank you.
platform. I'm going to definitely be supporting you in it.
Thank
But
you.
we got to start shining light on it because we're not tolerating it.
Right. Right. And before you go, I want you to
Mhm.
please shout out. Let's talk about this back to school drive again.
Yes. Yes.
The address is 2230 Harford Road, Baltimore, Maryland. Saturday, August the 21st, from
Yes.
12 to 4 p.m.
Yes.
Supplies will be given out supplies will be given out Saturday, August the 21st, 2021, between 12 and 4. And it lists the address of where the event is being held. Um, I want to say thank you, and one for your. I just like I don't know. I just like people that does multiple things.
Right.
You know, your activism, your comedy, all of that. You know, to spread awareness and to uplift people. Um, it does my heart good. You know, just like with
Thank you.
artists that only rap. Uh, okay, Mhm. But if you rapping, you producing, you publishing,
Right.
you're doing multiple things, it just does my heart good. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for thinking of the concept to say, you know, it is so easy to talk about people because of what the internet standards want,
Mm-hmm.
but you decide to flip that. I want to encourage someone. I want to uplift someone, and I appreciate that from you. Um, I just hope that you continue to do it, like I know you will.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it just does my heart good to see people like you who are still left on this earth that still going to uplift people. Notice that I said people. I didn't
Right.
say my people, but
Mm-hmm.
people in general, because
Yes.
African Americans are not the only people that go through this. There's a lot of
Oh
other
yeah.
people that go through this, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
children, adults, teenagers go through this. So again, I want to say thank you. Before you go, before we go, talk about your show. How can people see it, and any upcoming events that you have?
Okay. So as you guys know, my name is Real the Comedian. You can find me on all social media. It's Real the Comedian. One word, no spaces. Um, I'm on Facebook from on Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 o'clock p.m. until as in when the conversation is over.
What's up?
For the real talk side of the issues that we go through. If you would like me to speak on a topic that you are going through something or you need help with, I always say my inbox is open. You can leave me the message, and if I can fit it into my upcoming show, I'll inbox you back so you won't miss it. Or if I'm open to conversational topic pieces, I always post it, and so I do that once a month. I allow basically the community to pick a topic or so, and then when I start talking, as you guys can tell, I talk about everything, so nothing's off limit. We just start with a baseline topic, but
Right,
wherever it takes us, we going. And so with this upcoming event for the back to school drive, as I said before, we're not an organization, we're a group of women, and we want to help. So we're going into our own personal incomes to pay for school supplies for children, to help out this year. I know that it's been financially hard on a lot of households.
right,
We want to make it very clear we are helping the working family as well. A lot of times when people give backs and stuff, they have rules on who they can help and who has to have this kind
right,
of income.
right,
I feel as though I've been a working parent before, with even doing foster care, hit a bump in the road and could use a little help. So if you have the child with you, bring them out. It's going to be food, hot dogs, hamburgers on the grill. We got the fire department, Baltimore City Fire Department, coming out to support us. There's going to be free vaccinations if you would like to come and get vaccinated. We're going to have new and used clothes, shoes, winter clothes for children, mothers and fathers, so that way you guys can go to interviews, or if you need some things, it'll be some stuff for you to pick through as well as the children. So we want to help the whole family, not just the mom, not just the children, or not just the dad. So, come out. We're going to have pencils, paper, pens. We wanted to do book bags. However, I've told the sisters not to do book bags just because of the guidelines on clear and not this color of what the teenagers can have. So we're going to just fill up a whole big gift bag, and you're more than welcome. Whatever child you have, God willing, won't leave without nothing if I have to personally give them something myself. So come on out. It's from 12 to 4 p.m. And that's Saturday, I think, coming actually. So come on out. And we're actually tied to a church. So it's going to be a church family there. And
okay,
we're going to have a lot of love, and they are as well bringing out their own things they're giving back to the community.
that's
So
what's
it's going to be really, really major. It's going to be nice. And so the only way that we can do these things is if the community support them. This
Right.
is a free event. You don't have to pay for anything, but you do have to show up or send children because we need you to support it. However, I know when you say free North Avenue and Harvey Road, they'll pull over to come get a free book bag. I mean, paper supplies or whatever. So
People like
it's going to go, I believe. But thank you so much for the opportunity. You guys will see me again. I'm always looking for the next thing to get involved in. It is just my duty. It's the reason why I was saved or spared. So I have to do this. This is what keeps me ticking.
that's what's
And I'm going to support you as well. So I'll be tuning in. Can you shout out the station again for my people? Because I'm going to share this like so many places when I'm done.
sure. It's Charm City Direct TV is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just
Gotcha.
go to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and type in Charm City Direct TV. And if you did not watch this special live, because I really don't do it live, I just did it for you. Because I thought that, this needs to be something that is
Right.
visual and heard all at the same time. You can catch this episode a little bit later today. I think I'm gonna post it today
Okay.
on my Spreaker page, which is Spreaker.com/ Let's Talk with Edigga podcast. So make sure you go there and check out this episode and previous episodes on Let's Talk with Edigga podcast. So that's what's up. I appreciate you for stopping in, taking time out of your busy day to come chop it up with me. And like I said, this is a topic, body shaming, that needs to be talked about more. And one thing that you said, we need to share. We need
Mm-hmm.
to share. Everybody is fascinated by, the like button, but the share button works as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a lot of people, your information get put out there, because your friends are not my friends. My friends are not your friends.
Right.
So any new eyes on a situation is an opportunity, and it's a great opportunity to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I want to say thank you for everybody that tuned in to this live. Everybody that's going to check out this episode a little bit later on the Spreaker page. Special shout out to you, Real, for
Thank you.
just being who you are and your platform and your messages of hope. So I appreciate you 100%.
Thank you. Likewise. Ditto.
Right. Everybody, make sure you keep it locked. Tonight, it goes down right on WLEO 26.7 online radio. This little cursor just got a mind of his own, Real. It's over on one monitor, then I gotta find it. But later on tonight, make sure you check out the DJ Kells and Friends show that is going to be debuting tonight. You have two opportunities to either watch or listen. That's the amazing part. You could go to Facebook at DJ Kells or YouTube at DJ Kells 704, or you can check it out live on the sister channel, which is WLEO 26.7 online radio at the website given. That's www.WLEO267onlineradio.com. Make sure you tune in. She's going to be dropping some dope music, some new music, talking to people, the whole shebangity bang bang. Did I just say shebangity bang bang? Oh
You
God.
really did.
Yes. So, people, let's talk with Edick podcast right here. Super shout out, special thanks to my special guest, Real the comedian. This is not the last time you will see her. Like I said, right now,
Definitely.
she's family now. She is family. Get
Yeah.
used to it. And shout out to all of you who had tuned in. Uh, it's been real.
Yes.
It's been real. And I holler at you when I smile at you. Peace.